Please don't ever, 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 ever start dating a man when you're going through something hard, because that man probably preyed on you and your vulnerabilities. I'm not even kidding, y'all. So I just saw a video of one of my mutuals who's going through divorce right now talk about this, and I want to share my own experience with this. But if you stop watching now, please take this away. Do not start dating when you move to a new town, a new country. While if you're like between jobs, the death of a parent, the death of somebody, I don't know, literally anything difficult, do not start dating in that moment, because you will probably choose a terrible partner. But more importantly, that is the moment when men who are like super predatory, that's the moment they will strike. That's what happened to me. That's how I ended up with that little hobo who almost took my life, and I'm still financially in ruins over. But my mutual was talking about how she basically, there was a guy she was working with, and I'm telling you, this is so common. My mutual, Teresa and I have talked about this. If you go back and you think about any of the worst relationships you've ever been in, and a lot of times even like women who are going through divorce realize that. They're like, what? How did we start off? A lot of times the origin story is a difficult moment where you either met that person or you decided to like move forward with them, or just take your commitment to the next level during a moment when you were feeling bad about yourself. And that is the point, because once they get you, then it's really hard to get rid of these dudes, right? So my mutual was talking about how she was like working with this dude and like was annoyed by him, thought he was annoying, like she thought he was like arrogant and like all these things. She was just like stayed away from him. And then her mother went in the hospital and died. And this man, everybody like wrote her little notes, but this man went out of his way to be like so kind and y'all, that is exactly what happened to me. A couple things happened. I was flirting with this dude at work. I knew he was bad news, and I had just left New York and was in transition to moving to LA, but I went to New Mexico to write a book. My literary agent was out shopping it around. I'd spent a year and a half on this book proposal and a ton of money paying an editor to help me with it. I also was just done with New York and really just like, I'm not built to live in a major city, like one that big. I at least needed like some grass. Okay. So I was pretty sure I was going to go to LA, but I just needed a place to like go back to, and Taos, New Mexico is where I spent most of my 20s there, or at least like half my 20s. I was a raft guide there, ski instructor there. Like that's like my home away from home. That's like the place that I feel most at home, other than France now, because I've been here so long. I had a good community there, so I went back there to live super cheap and just like wait tables if I had to, but just be back with my community. And you know what happened? But my book did not sell, okay? Which, I had a blurb from Elizabeth Gilbert, right? I had blurbs from like famous people in addition to her. I had worked so hard on it. It's a really good story. And now, upon reflection, I do believe that projection is protection, and I'm so glad that book is not out in the world. But it was like it was devastating, because I'm still paying off what I spent. Like, I went in debt hiring someone to help, whatever. Anyway, by the way, that man took advantage of me, because he told me that no one would be interested in a story about like being stalked and raped and stuff like that. I will never hire a male editor ever again. Anyway, the book didn't sell, and one of my coworkers died, like super tragic. He lived on the Pueblo. He was our dishwasher. He was like he was like my buddy. I loved him. All loved him so much. And died in just the most violent way in a car accident. And it was at his funeral at the Taos Pueblo, which we were, invited to go to, which is, it's such a privilege to go to the Taos Pueblo, like be invited into a ceremony there. Anyway, it was a big deal. And so me and my coworkers there, and this man was so great during that ceremony. After he showed up at just the moment when I was like mourning a friend and like really lost, I was like, what am I doing? I'm like 36 years old. I have no career. Like the biggest thing that I've worked on for so long and worked so hard to, it didn't work out. What the hell am I going to do now? Can't really afford to move. I don't have enough money to move to LA. What am I going to do? So I started working, I was waiting tables at a pizza place. I felt like I was back at square one. I felt like I was 22 years old again or whatever. All that time in New York meant nothing. And this man showed up just in the moment because I was mourning. I was insecure. I felt bad about myself. I had no idea what my future was going, especially with my career. My career has always been the most important thing. And I'd never dated anyone in my life, right? Like I'd been single. I mean, I had few short-term things and flings and hate forks and one-night stands, but more or less, oh hello Mose, had been celibate for most of my adult life. Like I didn't mess with them, I didn't date them, I just did what I wanted to do, right? And thank God I did that. So I'd never been in a relationship, but now the most important thing in my life, which is my creative life, now I hit a dead end and I felt lost. And this man swooped in, and that is how I got in an abusive relationship. I was feeling so good up until that moment, and he took that opportunity. I mean, he'd been playing the long game, but I saw him in a different light that day at that funeral. And my mutual, when she was talking about that, she said that the way this man was so kind and so thoughtful and showed up for her in a moment when she was really suffering and just really feeling awful, because she had a strained relationship with her mother, she saw him in a different light, and she told herself, oh wow, you were really hard, judgmental with him, really hard on him, right? You gaslight yourself. I knew my little hobo was such a forking loser. I knew he was not dating material. To me, he was fun hookup material maybe, but not dating material. And wouldn't you know, this man became my first relationship. First time I fell in love, which is not love. It was not love. Whatever that was not love. I know that now. But I ended up in the most exhausting, most traumatizing, abusive, I completely lost myself in that relationship. I didn't do, other than doing a few one-woman shows, which I'd already done in New York before, so they were already written, I didn't write a single word. I went to Taos, New Mexico to write the book. And when the book didn't sell, the old me, or, the normal me, would have just been okay, this sucks, but I would have started something new, okay? Because that's what I do. As soon as I get rejection in one area, I have to shift that energy. I did that with this. That's why I'm on TikTok and YouTube. My writing career was going really well. And then, during when COVID started, they cut my earnings in half, took me back to beginner pay, and I was like, this is not sustainable, but I need an outlet for this creative energy. I have to keep telling stories. I have to keep doing this. So I was like, oh, what's TikTok? I'll try it out. And then boom, here we are, right? So that's me. I never, nothing stops me creatively. Nothing. Even the biggest rejection has never stopped me. But in that moment where I literally, I think 2 days before I started, really fell for this man, before 2 days before the funeral, and this awful news about my friend, I had the career-wise, the worst news ever. And so I was so vulnerable and feeling so awful. And that is the moment I, saw him in a new light. Oh, I guess I was wrong about him. He's very nurturing. He's very thoughtful. He's very, everything that I knew was a red flag before, I just completely forgot about it that moment because, I was really harsh. I really judged him hard. No. So what I'm telling you is please, do not date anybody when you are feeling bad about yourself, because you will attract men who want women who feel bad about themselves, because they'll never leave them. They'll exploit the crap out of you. And if you are in a relationship with a man, or anyone, this is really for anybody, but I tend to, women who date men tend to relate to my stuff the most. If you're in a relationship with someone and they want you to do something that takes something to the next level that you're not ready for, but you go along with it because you're feeling bad, please don't. Please don't make any new commitments. Don't fall deeper into don't decide, okay, now I guess we should get married. That sounds like a good idea, because you are distracted. You're distracted by something else. And this takes your mind off of it. Oh, well, at least I've got love or whatever. I'm telling you, it is a trap. Do not fall for it. Please don't fall for it. This is what they do. Do you know, I want you to picture a lion, okay? They sit there and they watch quietly until the most vulnerable is at their most vulnerable. And then they sneak up and then bounce. That is what they do. And they don't even have to be a narcissist or an abuser to do it. They could just be like a total fucking loser. And they're like, ooh, that woman with a good job and money. Oh, her dad just died. Now! Don't follow it, but do please follow my Patreon, please. Comment song, warning comment song. These men will put you in the hospital for random illnesses that make no sense because they're so stressful. Comment song, but you know what? If you can avoid them, that's the best. Because they will make you look haggard like this is right. I was like, a beat up princess for Halloween, whatever. They'll make you look haggard and stressed and so tired. But this is me 10 years later. Comment song, comment song. Fuck these dudes, don't date them. If you're feeling bad about yourself because you'll attract predators. Comment song. Hey, look at this bird witch and look at me. Comment song. This is where I just do like random stuff after if you're new here. Anyway, comment song. Join my Patreon for fun stuff and more personal stories. I don't share much on here about my personal life anymore. Comment song. Hey, comment song. Are you done? Type in your comments. See you later. Comment song. Et voila.